How do you deal with trolls? I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm scared of the hate. I've actually been incredibly lucky where I've not had that. I don't think I've actually had any really horrible comments at all. Certainly nothing specifically targeting me. I think the nature of this channel anyway kind of helps that. I wanted to make this channel, even though I didn't have a plan for this channel, I wanted to make it a safe space for everybody, a supportive environment, and just a place where it's okay to be you and, you know, be a bit weird, be a bit sensitive. That's fine. So I think it's naturally attracted a certain type of person who is maybe a bit kinder anyway. Having said that, I mean, we've all had bad comments and it hurts. It really does hurt. Even though you don't know this person, they're nothing to do with you. You know logically in your mind that they don't matter. It really doesn't matter. It still hurts you. And I think resilience is probably the key thing here. I mean, by all means, you are allowed to feel hurt by something, as long as you do realise that that person's opinion and the way in which they've said it says more about them than it does about you. I think if you want to start a YouTube channel, just do it. You know, worst case scenario, you just take the channel down. Do something you enjoy. If you enjoy doing it, don't let other people stop you from doing it. Do you have any hidden talents? I'm not really a very talented person. The only thing I can think is that I can do ballet, and I did ballet for a very, very, very long time. I did it from the age of 3 till I was 18, and I picked it up again in my mid-20s, and I've recently picked it up again in my mid-30s. So yeah, it would probably be ballet. I loved ballet. I love dancing. I feel like dancing is so important for your mental well-being. It just takes you out of yourself and it gets you moving. Anita asks, am I still content with my job? Now, I think Anita's aware, as are some others of you, that I've had a very stressful period of time at work. I'm very aware that all jobs go through stressful times. And I think the overriding thing is I do love my job. I love working with people and I love working with the deceased. I love working in a job which deals with death, because I think death is one of the most important things that we all go through and will experience at some stage. I am content with my job. I would just like it to be a little less busy, maybe. Is there anything I would like to change in my current lifestyle? What I would like, I would like a little bit of land outside the back of my house, where I could keep chickens and goats and pigs and rescue animals, and probably just have a really small farm outside the back of my house. That would be my ultimate dream. Really, I think I would happily spend all day, every day, just looking after the house, looking after animals, growing vegetables, basically living like a peasant. I would very happily be a peasant back in the Middle Ages, but maybe with today's healthcare and education and access to the internet, that would be perfect. How do you cope with conflict? I don't. I've always struggled with conflict. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like arguments. I don't like arguing. I don't like watching people argue. I hate the whole thing. Up until a few years ago, if anybody was confrontational with me or there were conflicts, I would just cry. And it was a completely involuntary reaction. I just could not control it. And it was quite embarrassing. So when I had my business, if a customer complained, I would just stand there and cry, which is so unprofessional, but I couldn't help it. And with conflict, I tend to ruminate on it for a very, very, very long time. And it will still pop into my head even years later. I think it's something that I have developed as I've got older, but I'm better at dealing with conflict now. Generally from a detachment perspective. So I generally, if somebody's confrontational with me, I tend to like immediately detach. I try and calm my mind down, take in what they're saying, and respond in as calm a manner as possible. Then I'll go away and cry and ruminate about it for hours on end. So I don't know if that's of any help to you whatsoever. Is Harvey a rescue? No, he's not. But I would only get rescue dogs now. The reason Harvey isn't a rescue is my first business was a pet shop, and he came to work with me every single day, and shops are quite stressful, and I didn't want to put an animal in a position where they could be quite stressed if I wasn't 100% sure of their history. So he was with me from a puppy. He was used, sorry, I'm looking at him down there. He was used to being in the shop, meeting dogs every day, meeting all different animals. We even had a skunk in once. So he just became really sociable, used to people, noise, busyness, and I just didn't want to inflict that on another animal if it wasn't something they were comfortable doing. But the situation I'm in now, I would definitely always rescue. Is there anything I would love to do? Currently, we don't holiday abroad, we only holiday in the UK, which is one reason why we got our little camper van. This is because Harvey's not very good at being left on his own. So we can't really go abroad. We went away to Cuba on honeymoon and left Harvey with the other dog that we had at the time, Nellie, and with family members. His routine was exactly the same, but he still didn't eat for like 4 days. He really just struggles. He's a very shy dog. He's very introverted. He won't push himself on people. If he wants to go for a walk or wants to play, he won't tell you. He'll just sit there and wait for you to work it out. So he's very sensitive, and I just feel like he's not going to be around forever. So I'm just giving all of my time to him while I can. And when he's not around anymore, then we will go travelling, and then we'll start seeing the world. But what I would really like to do is I really want to go to Scandinavia. I want to go to Norway, Finland, Sweden. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Canada. I want to go to Alaska. I want to see all the cold countries and I want to see the Northern Lights. So that is what I would love to do. So yeah, after Harvey's not around anymore, I think it will be time for us to travel a bit further afield and see a bit more of the world. Do you dye your hair? No, I don't. I did dye my hair once. I put in a wash in, wash out henna mix. It was this real red colour because I was going as a devil to a Halloween party, because apparently my hair's very porous, and my hairdresser told me that what had happened was it just went and just sucked in all the dye, and it just sucked my hair for ages. So I haven't dyed my hair since. I suppose I'm probably quite lucky in that I don't have to dye my hair. I do actually have some greys starting to come through at the top, and I actually was a bit excited when that came through, because I was like, I'm reaching a different point in my life now. This is like the next stage, and I don't mind going grey. I think it could be quite nice. Why did you give up being a hypnotherapist? So this was that time in between when I graduated from university and when I started the business, and I was really struggling with getting a job and what I wanted to do. I've always been interested in psychology and the use of hypnosis for therapy. So I trained as a hypnotherapist. I dealt with things like stop smoking, weight loss. I didn't delve into depression because I feel like I wasn't qualified to do that at the time. But in all honesty, I was just too young to be a hypnotherapist or a therapist full stop. I just didn't have the life experience, even though I thought, I've been through, a lot and I was quite sensitive. I just didn't have the experience to deal with things people were going through. And it's not just about what they're going through, it's picking up on different cues and clues to the way they speak. It just takes a level of maturity I didn't have then. And it just it didn't sit very well in myself, because I think I knew I wasn't ready to do it. I would consider going back into hypnotherapy or therapy full stop now. I think I'm a bit more learned than I was all those years ago, and I think I'd probably be much more effective at helping people. What are you currently reading? Now, I know some of you aren't always that interested in what books I'm reading, but I always have 2 books on the go. I tend to have a non-fiction for nighttime and a fiction for the daytime. The reason I have non-fiction for nighttime is if I'm reading a story before I go to bed, I really struggle to put the book down. If I'm reading non-fiction, then I find it much easier to just close the book and go to sleep. And especially if it's quite dry, it sort of helps you to go to sleep. So at the moment upstairs, my nighttime book, I am reading Witches of Salem by Stacey someone. I will put pictures somewhere here of what I'm reading. My daytime book I'm reading, where is it? Oh, Fleischman is in Trouble. It's completely and totally and utterly out of my comfort zone. It's incredibly modern. It talks about Facebook, which I don't like that in books. I'm about a third of the way through and I've not made my mind up on it yet. It's so out of my comfort zone, and even though I've started pushing myself out of my comfort zone in a literary sense, I'm not convinced that I'm overall going to enjoy this book. I'm not saying it's not well written, I'm not convinced it's for me yet. So thank you very much for joining me for this Q&A. If you have any other questions, I might do another one at some point, but thank you so much for getting in contact, and I love speaking with you, and hopefully you sort of understand me a bit better now and know a bit more about me and where I'm from. I look forward to making lots more nature-based videos and taking you outside with me. Spring is coming now. All the trees are starting to bud and blossom, and the crocuses and daffodils are peeping out, and the sun's out today. It's so nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to taking you on adventures with me in the coming year. And thank you for all your support as always. It really does mean a lot that there are people out there who I feel like we're all getting along nicely together and all enjoy the same things. Okay, I will go now. It's been lovely speaking with you, and take care, and I will see you soon.